Alright, so I'm going to do the next part of the Summertide Scales and Tails event, which I'll be doing the last one of these balloon challenge things. Let's see. Oh my god, this stupid king one. Targeting in this thing is terrible, by the way. Can't even really see what you're targeting at. Why are you trying to shove him into the block? Okay, let's collect the rewards for this. Oh, that's the guard thing. Okay. Oh, let's do the Sumeru odd textual thing. And then I'll go ahead and try to do the figures. Oh, right. Didn't Kali say Sumeru City has been pretty lively lately? Aren't you even a little curious? Sounds fun to me. Right? Paimon agrees. Then let's go see what's going on. From our first stop, maybe start with the academia? Or for our first stop, excuse me. That's where all the info is, after all. Look, that's Farzan over there. Do you think we should ask? Ah, even just glancing at the borrowing records gives me flashbacks to how awful that book was. How irritating. Farzan, what are you doing talking to yourself over here? I am Madame Farzan, after all. It's not out of place for me to mull things over out loud, wouldn't you say? But in this case... Ugh, never mind. Forget about it. Why'd the two of you suddenly decide to drop by? Well, about that. We heard something about a party and didn't want to miss out. Kali said that, told us that Sumeru's the place to be now. Apparently tons of interesting things are happening. So we thought we'd ask around. Any idea what she's talking about? Interesting things? What might Kali find interesting? Tenery's tail getting so fluffed up like the ball of tumbleweed? Or Sino climbing a tree and getting his hood caught on a branch. Well, you've really missed all that? Seriously? And nobody thought to tell me? Still, she said there was something big everyone's been talking about. Can you think of anything slightly more sufficient? More sufficient. Ah, is something the matter, madame? Well, now that you mention it, it must be what I think it is. Recently, rumors have been going around about a certain book. Eek, that's a classic horror story opening. It's not some kind of forbidden tome or anything like that, is it? Forbidden tome? Ha! As far as I'm concerned, it might as well be. Tell me, have you ever read one of those really, really, really badly written detective novels? I unfortunately did. Tell me exactly how bad it was. Oh, leave this to Paimon. For example, the type where you start off thinking it's a locked murder room mystery, but it actually turns out that the whole building was just moved. That's right. Or it's supposed to be based on pure reasoning and logical deduction, but at the end it turns out the culprit has some kind of superpower. Exactly. Or it starts out super serious, but in the second half, it just reveals that everyone lost their memories out of the blue. Or is it set in a mountain village in the middle of a snowstorm, and the police officers who've been portrayed as a serious figure thought the whole story only turns out to be the murderer, without even the slightest hint of foreshadowing? You're both being way too specific. My apologies. I let myself get a bit carried away there for a moment. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I did borrow a book like that a few days past. So you borrowed a badly written book. But what happened to the best of us? But that happens to the best of us. No, that's the problem. Blizzard swept mountain villages, superpowers, police officers turn out to be criminals. This book had it all and more. Reading it was tantamount to torture. And despite how complicated it was engaging in the slightest. But there have been all sorts of rumors circulating about this book. Because of the strange marks drawn over all the pages, people are saying that it must be concealing secrets. Do you think there's treasure involved? I'm not sure, but there must be many who believe so. Not only have more and more people been borrowing it, but they've all been specifically asking for the marked up copy. Have you borrowed it too? Yes, I have. As you well know, I am a scholar, so it's only natural to have a bit of curiosity. So, just what secrets does the book at the center of the rumors actually hold? I read through carefully from start to finish. Most of the marks are circles, but the beginning and end points of each stroke differ. So does the color the ink used. Most importantly, all the names of the people in the book have been circled. Not only that, many of them are adapted from famous figures in Sumeru's history. Some speculate that these marks have been left by different scholars over the eras, each researching the book's secrets, each searching for a name they believed in. Others believe that they are a kind of notion or notation made by different people belonging to the same organization, and that the names circled are their code names. Still, others think that it is some kind of encryption cipher, but even after finishing it, I came no closer to uncovering the mystery. Not only was reading it a complete waste of my time, but sheer absurdity of the shoddy excuse for a plot several times over. I was so angry that I returned the book immediately, and when I came to the house of Dia today, I found lots of people skulking around. I suppose they're all still looking for that thing. No wonder you zoned out like that. Paimon's guessing you won't be borrowing any more detective novels anytime soon. Indeed. Ugh. Paimon, Traveler, surely the two of you must understand how I feel. Don't worry, madame. I feel your frustration. What's the book called? We'll borrow it and take a look ourselves. It's called Reasoning Knows Not Time of Day, but Suspense Always Follows a Blizzard. You sure it's a detective novel? Sounds more like the title of a light novel. Tell me about it. Anyway, read it at your own risk. It truly is unbearably boring. There's so many books with long titles here. Let Paimon have a look. Working hard and vacationing harder. What the heck? An Atlas of the Rare Rainforest Dwelling Species, Professional Edition. Secrets of the Elemental Sciences. The book, Jackie even says, expert approved. The former sage Cyrus praises this as an excellent entry level book. In this one, a compilation and summary of common basic grammar rules for rare languages of ancient desert people. Ugh! Now Paimon's dizzy. It's just so many words. Come on, Paimon. You can learn 20 different. Huh? Is that Layla over there? Let's just ask her. She may know something. Oh, is Layla behind the things, the marked up book? The more cognitive Layla, not the sleepy Layla. Traveler, Paimon, it's been so long. Ugh, I'm still a bit tired. Didn't sleep well last night? I was reading novels, so I stayed up late. It wasn't that detective novel that everyone's been talking about, was it? The one with the super long name? Uh-huh. Oh, no, if you're talking about reasoning knows not time of day, but suspense always um, follows a blizzard. Ah, right, yes. No, it wasn't that one. Madame Farzon said it was really dull, so I didn't borrow it. Oh, so you're not that interested in the book's secrets. I haven't even been able to keep up with my own work, even though I'm up late all the time these days. But why more people have, or but way more people have been interested in the book than I ever imagined. 7 or 8 in a single morning. I feel like a living signboard sitting here like this. Kaveh asked me the same question, so he must be looking for it too. He was even hiding behind a ladder before, looking for something. Or he looked really embarrassed. Searching for something hidden behind a ladder? He must be after Mora. That's gotta be it. So he can hurry up and pay off his debts, too. Wait, no. Let's just pretend Paimon didn't say anything. Layla, you're really sleepy, right? You must be dreaming this conversation. Hee. I didn't really get it anyway, but if you say so, it's a dream. Thank you. We'll keep on looking. Okay, see you next time. Snore. I can't make snore sounds. It's not often Layla falls asleep so quickly. Good for her. Paimon thinks you should go ask Kaveh now. If he's searching for the book, he must know something. But where is he now? Good question. But we can't try hanging around here. Find around where he might show up. There's a good chance there, yeah, good chance he's there right now, right? Okay, so that's Layla. This is one of the ladders. Anything sus going on? No. What about this one? Oh, come on. There we go. Nope. Okay. Do you ever think we should, seem like a pair of thieves, hiding here at the ambush Kaveh? It almost feels like we're here to extort him or something. Paimon's not sure why that is, though. We just want to ask him a couple of questions, that's all. Don't make it sound like we're the baddies. When have you ever bothered by when have you ever been bothered by your conscience? I'm gonna do the baddies one. Huh? That sounds like footsteps. Quick, let's take a look. Stop right there, huh? Oh, hey then, what are you doing here? He lives here! Of course he'd be here! Good question. Surprising indeed. I was under the impression that you knew I lived here. Good morning. Good morning. What can I do for you? Nothing. Never mind. Okay. Goodbye then. He just left. Does he have work to do or something? Footsteps again. They're heading towards the door. Stop right there, Kaveh. Wah! What are you two doing here? Good question. Surprising indeed. Paimon was under the impression that you'd know the only reason we'd be here was if we were looking for you. Paimon, you don't sound like yourself. Looking for a certain book by any chance? Wait, what? Here's the deal. Am I get it? No. Okay. How is it you guys know everything? And there I was thinking I've been super discreet the whole time. No one should have even noticed. Come on, get real. You really think that no one knows you live here? Hey, that's not fair. Of course nobody knows, except for Sino, Tainari, Kali, and the two of you, right? Friends are friends, so if they know, well, they know. But what if a stranger overheard us? It would be a disaster. Might even impact my career. Anyway, about that book. You believe it contains intel about hidden treasure, don't you? Looking to get rich quick, are we? Yeah. Are you offering to help find it? Shucks, why didn't you say so earlier? If there really is treasure, how about this? We help you find it, then split the loot 50-50. It's a deal. Traveler, after all we've been through, it's finally our turn to get rich. No need to keep yapping hidden treasure. The Paimon's probe homing on ya. Huh? Hey, Paimon! He didn't even give Kaveh a chance. Huh? Is that Dia? Traveler? Paimon? Must be my lucky day running into you like this. Dia, you mercenaries are pretty tuned into the grapevine. Have you ever heard of a book called Reasoning Knows Not Time of Day, but Suspense Always Follows a Blizzard? Wait, are you guys looking for it too? By two, you don't mean you're looking for it too? Darn it, it does. So does that mean we're finally going to have to square off against Dia? Wait a minute, would you mind telling me exactly why you're looking for it? Explanations. If it really does turn out to be something important, I'll be sure to let you know if I hear anything. Whoa, really? From your reaction before, Paimon thought you were after it too. Don't worry, a client had asked me to get her the book, but her attitude seemed off somehow, so I didn't take the commission. She's a smart cookie though, and it was like she was hiding something, so I thought she must have an alternative motive. Besides, I have other things to look into right now. Compared to some commissions, it's more important that you uncover the truth behind that book. Anyway, no time to lose. I've got to get going. Alright then, good luck, and don't forget to tell us if you hear anything. I wonder who Dia's client could be. Hey! How are you so fast? Flying's faster than running. Sorry, it's a traveler thing. Haven't been through so much, I run fast. Alright, listen to me. It's like this. Paimon, don't get your hopes up. That book, it isn't some kind of treasure map. It's just an unbelievable, unremarkably, surpassingly ordinary detective novel. Huh? But didn't you just say there was treasure? If most people backtracked like that, Paimon just think they'd change their mind and want to keep all the more for themselves. But that's not something you'd do. No, I'm sorry. I couldn't bring myself to tell you earlier, so I played along with what you were saying. Here's what happened. I borrowed the book a month ago. When I opened to the first page, I discovered one of the names was printed incorrectly. That night, I had been drinking just a little, and I was starting to feel drowsy, so I picked up a pen and circled the name. As I'm sure you know, the House of Dina allows borrowers to annotate the books they take out. I'm in the habit of doing that too, so at the time, I didn't give it a second thought. But after I was a dozen or so pages in, I realized that the names of all the characters of the book had intentionally been written slightly wrong. Maybe it would be more accurate to say that the novel itself was quite strange. All the characters' names were based on real historical figures, but rather than using their original names, they had been tweaked ever so slightly. Most people would assume that the author had made a mistake, or that there'd been a printing error when they saw spelling mistakes like that. I didn't find the content particularly appealing, so I returned it before I finished reading it. But later on, I heard that the book had suddenly become the talk of the town, and that there were rumors about mysterious treasure or something. And you thought it had something to do with you. It certainly does sound like that. Yeah, I also heard that now all the names in the book have been circled, not just one. I just haven't been able to figure out what into that must have happened after I returned it. Did you tell anyone else that you borrowed it? Let me think. Tainari? Last time we met, I also told him all about how poorly parts of the books were written. He said I'd made it sound pretty funny, so much so, in fact, that he suddenly wanted to take a look himself. You made it sound like it was so bad it's good. In that case, let's go find Tainari. That's fine with me, but I still have some work to finish up, and it's pretty urgent. How about I head back first and we can meet up again later once I'm done? No problem. Hope your work goes well. Me too. Thanks. See you later. Oh my god, I'm running all over the fucking place. I hope this is the last stop for this quest. I'm already almost there, so I'm not gonna bother. Over there! Over there! Hey, Tainari! I heard you. I heard you. How's it going, Traveler and Paimon? You guys sure look excited. Explanation. Oh, I get to actually read this one off. You tell Tainari about how you're looking for the novel. Reasoning knows not time of day, but suspense always follows a blizzard. As you do so, you reflect once more on how absurdly long the title is, and how even just saying it aloud makes you feel tired. Ah, that one. Yes, I did go to the house to borrow it. Kaveh said it wasn't worth reading, but I was curious, so I went and read it anyways. The problem was, there were already two names circled in the book I borrowed, and the style of each circle was different. It was like some kind of game. Someone had drawn a red circle around the name of the first character that appeared, then someone else had drawn a green circle around another name. So, in the time between Kaveh returning the book and you taking it out again, someone else had already annotated it? There we go. That's right. Pamela's sure that the first circle was drawn by Kaveh. Yes, no surprise there. If you stop and think about it for a second, guessing the identity of the second annotator should be trivial. Wait, you mean it was... If there are two people living in a house and one of them drew the first circle, then it's highly likely that the other person left a mark too. I'll hate them. Good point. Sometimes those two really are too much. In the end, it was as I suspected from the beginning. The first character whose name had been circled on the very first page turned out to be the murderer. Surely that's just a blatant spoiler? Like that joke where everyone opens a novel and bam, there's a note in the margin that spoils everything right from the start? What kind of joke would be so cruel? That was one of Cyrus's. And it wasn't just a joke. He said he actually pulled a stunt like that when he was younger. Wait, does that mean Cyrus was the one who wrote that book? Who was unlucky enough to borrow the book after he'd scribbled all over it? My master, Nafis, and Professor Zaha Hadi, who had a seminar with him that very afternoon. Cyrus said that master once threatened to give him a good beating by the side entrance of the house of Dina. It was only thanks to my mother and Professor Zaha Hadi intervening that it didn't happen. Paimon doesn't sympathize with Cyrus at all. Not one bit. The House of Dina has never stopped people from annotating books, but this seemed like a special case. I didn't think the book could be allowed to be kept circling like that. So I circled several names myself, laying a false trail. Best place to hide a leaf is in the forest. It's a simple principle. Well, when you put it like that, but still, how many names did you circle, Tainari? Let me think. Not too many, about 3 or 4. I chose them all randomly. Then who circled the other names in the book? There must have been others who borrowed it and did something similar. I'm just not sure why. Who'd have thought borrowing books could be so complicated? Okay, does that mean I'm going to go see Al Hatham now? Okay, that's a different spot than I thought. That's the coffee shop by the looks of it. Look, there's Dia. Let's tell her what the real story is. Huh? Candace is there too? So I need to reflect a little on what I did. What happened? To meet you here today is surely due to the guidance of the gods. Greetings. Candace, is this a personal trip? Today's trip to the city is to buy provisions for the people of Aru village, as well as help Miss Satari deliver a message to the sages of the academia while I'm here. On the way, I happened to see Dia sitting in the cafe looking down, so I came over to chat with her. Don't worry, it's nothing serious. It's just that I suddenly remembered a few details about that book after talking with you. Before that client had even contacted me, I heard rumors of exciting novel full of undiscovered secrets. Out of curiosity, I asked Sino to take it out for me. As a desert dweller and mercenary to boot, the idea of solving a mystery treasure map is pretty exciting. Paimon totally gets that. We inherited our custom of searching for the gold and wisdom in the sands from the gods themselves. But that book turned out to be dry as dust. A bunch of names had been circled, but I still couldn't figure out what the puzzle was supposed to be, despite reading the whole thing through carefully from start to finish. In the end, I was trying to think it was some kind of ritual or game or something, so I picked up a pen and drew a circle of my own. Oh no, Dia too? But later on, Miss Dunuzard asked her parents to find a way to borrow it for her. She said the mysterious markings fascinated her, even though she couldn't get into the book itself. If they were just regular annotations, I wouldn't be anything out of the ordinary. But these strange circles, you can't help but want to try and figure out what they mean. That's true. So Dia, what you're reflecting on is having accidentally interfered with other people's reading experiences. Is that correct? Wait, hold on a sec. Why did you tell Candace? She's a warrior. You know, sometimes she has to interrogate criminals and other things like that too. Everyone recognizes that her job is sacred, so when we need to think over what we've done that should be done. What we've done wrong, we'll talk to her about it. Please don't be too surprised, my dear traveler. To me, listening to other people's mistakes is just another way of protecting them. By speaking of your own mistakes and hearing sincere advice in return, improvement will come, over time. That's the way we do things. But all she did was draw a circle, and it's not like she was deliberately trying to mess with anyone. Besides, everyone agrees that the book itself is just bad. Don't worry about it, Dia. That's true. I was just telling Candace how bizarre it is. Be that as it may, it doesn't change the fact that it just ain't right to mess with someone else's enjoyment of a book. That's the bottom line. Anyway, Dia, please have faith that the gods will forgive your transgression. Besides, you told me about a part of the story where one of the suspects in the case ended up crawling out of the village on his hands and knees, and he was named Al-Hamal. That's right. The detective in the book agreed that he must have leapt across the broken bridge like a frog. Of course, you find out later on his conjecture was totally off base. Why's that? Because it turns out that Al-Hamal has a superpower, so he can float right across the broken bridge. What the heck is this book even about? It sounds completely ludicrous. Al-Hamal. It's simply two remnants of the god's name of King Deseret. Don't you think? Though considering how transgressive this book sounds, I don't think it's worth overthinking it. You're right. You know, I can't help but wonder what our friends at the Temple of Silence would say if they somehow got their hands on this book. I'm sure those sages would be able to unpack interesting ideas from the text we ordinary people could scarce dream of. It's normal for it's normal for there to be bridges outside blizzard-swept mountain villages, and normal for them to get broken. But for a person to cross one by floating through the air, why resort to such a lame plot device? Is it really a serious detective novel? Sounds more like something out of a comic strip. I'm starting to get where Farzan was coming from. If you gotten all excited about reading a detective novel, but ended up reading tripe like that instead, better not to even think about it. So where's the book now? I'm not sure. I returned it after I was done reading it, and back then, there weren't as many markings inside as rumors say there are. Alright, then Detective Paimon's still on the case. Oh my god. Can we just stop now? This is getting ridiculous. Hello! Has Raising knows not time of day but suspense always follows a blizzard been returned yet? There are two copies of the book. One's been marked up, the other hasn't. I'm guessing you're looking for the one with the marks? Oh, you saw right through us. Many others have asked for it too. I apologize, though. It seems it hasn't been returned yet. Please come back again later. Can you at least tell us who borrowed it? Well, as long as it isn't overdue, we'll wait patiently for it to be returned. Disclosing borrowers' identities without proper reason for doing so would be a violation of professional ethics, so you'll have to forgive me for keeping that information confidential. You've got a point. It would be terrible if someone looking to steal a book started harassing whoever borrowed it. Hey, you two look as confused as a couple of Aranara who've just run into each other head first. Are you looking for something? I can help. That's Nahita's voice. Hi there. Nahita, have you heard of a book called Reasoning Knows Not Time of Day, but Suspense Always Follows a Blizzard? Such a long name. But yes, I know the one you mean. I heard that everyone was looking for it, and it sounded fascinating, so I found a brand new copy to read myself. By brand new, do you mean it wasn't the copy with all the markings on it? Yes, that's right. I was more interested in the content of the book itself than all those rumors about hidden treasure, so an unmarked copy was all I needed. Speaking of which, it's funny. There's more than one copy of this book, but everyone's looking for the one where all the names have been circled. Are they all afraid of spoilers, or do they actually crave them? Oh, then do you know who has the copy with the markings right now? I just so happen to have seen it in the hands of one of your friends. If you're looking for the copy that sparked all the rumors, you should look around near the palace of Alcazar. Dory? Are we talking about Dory? We are talking about Dory. Oh god, Sino and... Oh my god. Is that... Huh? Dory? Sino? And Sethos? Ah! Darn you, General Mahamatra. Entrapment isn't gonna work. You can't do that. Hey, what do you mean by entrapment? You were the one who said you had the book. I said I wanted to read it. Then you agreed to meet me here. Sino showing up too was just a coincidence. Pure coincidence. You don't play games with me. I know who you are. You're that new kid, Sethos, right? I know you're a friend of Sino's. Huh, so you do know who I am. I saw how Sino was chasing you around, trying to get you to play cards, and how you found an excuse to turn off after a couple of rounds right after. To run off, excuse me. That left quite an impression. You didn't have to mention that. No, I think Dory's right about that. You always look for a way out when it comes to playing Invocation. It's becoming quite a problem. Traveler and Paimon, you've been standing there for quite a while. Oh, if it isn't my dear Traveler and Paimon, what brings the two of you to the palace of Alcazar's? Might it be that you have come to do business with me, the Lord Shangamabe? Haha, of course, of course. Please, give me a moment to conclude our business here. I'll be with you straight away. Anyway, General Mahamatra, as I am sure you are well aware, the means by which I had someone borrow this book from the house of Dina were both completely legal and perfectly reasonable. Seeing as it isn't yet time to return it, you have no right to forcibly seize a book I borrowed. That would only be the case had you not engaged in any irregular activities. Yet, just now, a buyer, Sethos, came to the palace of Alcazar on the basis of a mysterious message to meet a seller, hoping in vain to purchase a detective novel. What do you mean, buyer? He's one of your people. You sent him here to deliberately try to buy it and entrap me. That is not something I can acknowledge. What I can tell you is that I've had my eyes on this book for some time. Remember, it is forbidden to transfer or sell books from the House of Dina without explicit approval from the relevant authorities. I'm not selling anything, just to be clear. I'm just making the most of an opportunity. If someone pays me a little something on the side, I lend them this mysterious little novel to browse for a bit. If you don't believe me, just ask any of my curious readers. Yes, they're right. That's right, they're your readers. Anyway, I was just showing him the book. Is that so? And here I was thinking that you were really going to go through with an illegal transaction like this, Sethos. Huh? Wait, what? You two really aren't together? I was just really curious about this book. I finally managed to track it down, but Sino, it's true that Dory never actually said she wanted to sell the book. So she isn't the mastermind who started all this? The mastermind? So, by your own account, it looks like you might have jumped the gun a bit, General Mahamatra. I'm not handing the book over. Huh. You may think you've played an ace, Dory, but when you opened the book just now, I saw the truth revealed before me. The book's return date is today. Ugh. That Sino sure got sharp eyes. That's right. I do have good vision. You have less than half an hour before the book is overdue. Give it to me and I will return it. Huh. How could I just hand it over to you like that? This is a mysterious, super awesome, mega amazing paragon of illogical detective novels that is practically a treasure. I'm going to make a fortune off of it. Should you really be admitting that out loud? I didn't say I was going to sell it. It's not like I was being serious. Then how about this? Dory, Sino, why don't you two play a little game with the book as the stakes? That's one way of solving it. How about it, Dory? Do you dare to accept the challenge? If you win, I'll turn a blind eye to the book for the time being. And if you lose, you have to hand it over. Oh, sounds interesting. Very well, I'm in. What's the contest? Are both of you confident in your power of mental recall? My memory is not bad. Yes. And you have both read the contents of this book, correct? That's right. Huh? Sino, you've actually read it? Oh, well, needless to say, so have I. In that case, I'll just open up the cover and flip through a few pages, and you tell me how many names have been circled. Best out of 3 wins. Sound good? Ugh, that's nuts. What, chickening out? No, it's game on. Let's go. Good. In that case, the first page. 6. 6. Both correct. Next, the second page. I think it was 4? I'd say 4. Oh, both of you are right again. 2 draws. So all hangs on the next question. Listen up. Oh, page 61. What? That I don't quite remember. 7? I know. The answer is 5. Absolutely correct. The answer is 5. Sino, is your memory really that good? I'm not buying it. How did you do that? It's not actually because I have good memory, but because the circling of the names left a deep impression on me. After I borrowed it, I noticed the names of the first pages have been selectively circled by different people. Each person's penmanship was different, and moreover, I recognized 3 of the circles as having been drawn by Tainari. Few others use the same color ink as he does, so it was instantly recognizable. You even know that? Yes, I learned of that habit of his long ago. At that time, I had just been promoted General Mahamatra and would go to a secret base when I wanted to get through all the trivial tasks in my in-tray at once with minimal disturbances. I would often find Tanari hidden away on a tree there, doing his homework. Noticing the writing implements he favored wasn't exactly detective work. In all these years, he's never once changed the ink he uses. Back to that book. Anyone who's read it knows that the first name circled is the real murderer. Perhaps Tanari did not want the plot to be spoiled for anyone else, so he circled other names. Annotating or marking a book is not in itself a violation of a book borrowing regulations. But why are all the marks there? Is there some conspiracy behind them? What do they have to do with Tainari? I want to get to the bottom of this, even if it's just for the sake of my friend. And to uncover the secret, you must become a part of the conspiracy. So I circled all the other names that were left in the. Oh my God, Sino! What? To think you do such a thing. So there's no treasure at all? It was just you guys all along? That's right. Should you wish to hide a grain of sand, bury it in the desert. And in that grain of sand, I can catch a glimpse of the truth. And so you were drawn to it, making your plans, yet in a twist of fate were discovered by me. No matter how vast this world is, you cannot run from the long arm of the law. Wow, you're making a meal out of this, aren't you? You really have way too much time on your hands. Okay, I give up. You win. Ahem. That's enough for today. It is time for Lord Shangama-Bay to return to her room for some repose. Farewell, all. So, do you intend to take this book back to the Temple of Silence? I'd heard there was treasure hidden inside and thought it might be something to do with the temple. I never thought that was the real story behind it. But when you agreed to compete, I had already surmised you were familiar with this book. That's why I chose that particular format. Brilliant move, bro. Huh? What's with that look? We're just thinking there have been more twists and turns in the story behind the book than in the actual story itself. Well, as long as you got it back, I'll leave uncovering the rest of the secrets to you and take my leave for now. See you later, everyone. Can I borrow the book? Of course. Okay, after Sino hands you the book, you and Paimon quickly thumb through it. Though you weren't reading very carefully, you can tell that something's not quite right. The plot is wildly imaginative, and just as everyone says, though most of the names in the book seem familiar on closer inspection, you realize that they aren't actually the names of the historical figures you thought they were at first. Not only that, but every name has been circled. Thinking back on the course of events, you fall silent, then you explain the full story. How unexpected! But still, it doesn't make sense, and it is far better than the existence of an actual conspiracy. In that case, I still have other plans. Last time I was at Caraviba, I promised I'd meet Dia and Candace for drinks. Traveler, could I tell you to return the book for me? Sure, leave that to me. Thanks, friend. Let's go turn this book in and end this silly quest. And this is why I don't write in books. I actually remember in, I think it was high school, for one of my history classes, uh, there was a textbook that they had passed out because it was a public school. And somebody who had it before me had taken a highlighter and basically highlighted everything in the book. Like, almost every single word in the book was highlighted. Well, we're finally back now. Now let's return this book. You really found the book? Amazing. I've been waiting here for it to be returned so I could see it as soon as possible. You recount the entire tale to Kave's eager ears. Seriously? How is that even possible? I circled the actual murderer? Paimon's pretty surprised by this whole thing, too. Let's take care of the book problem first. Hello, this book, it's probably all my fault for using permanent ink to mark a page, since that caused a whole mess of other things to happen. Now it's all marked up like this, and there's even a risk of those marks spoiling the story, so I'd like to buy it. The whole issue should be avoidable if the Academy uses the money to buy a new copy. Would you please consider my proposal? Mr. Cave, your idea has merit, and it is indeed a good way to resolve this situation. I'll confirm the book's new price, and then you can pay over there. That's great. Thank you so much. Shortly afterwards, Cave accompanies the Academy staff to register the purchase of the book and pays the full amount. The staff member carefully wraps up the thoroughly marked up old book and gives it to him. What a blunder. Regardless, thank you so much for all your help. It was nothing. We were just kind of along for the ride. Still, Cave, it'd be better if you used something more erasable to make notes in the future. I understand. I'll never let myself subconsciously correct typesetting errors ever again. No, I mean, I'll never again borrow a book with such a long name. At least for a while. And it's still not done? I'll hate them. You're here. I was looking everywhere for you. What is it? Haha, guess what I've got in this little bag here? If I had to guess, a young man's tears of regret. And what would you know? It's reasoning knows no time, not time of day, but suspense always follows a blizzard. You actually bothered to memorize a ridiculous and boring name like that? That's just because when I was filling out the paperwork to buy it back at the academia office, I had to write it out over and over. And it looks like this book has a new owner. All because I've subconsciously marked up the book with ink. Did you know that Tainari, Dia, and Sino all circled names in the book, and it all started because the name I circled was the real killer? To be perfectly honest, the moment I saw the murderer's name circled, I knew this would happen. Wait a second, how come you've read the book too? I had the pleasure of reading it in the house of Dina. The logic is a mess, it's just poorly written. And you left the book out in the study. So you knew I circled the killer. Then did you circle any names in the book? What do you think? No, because that doesn't fit Elhathan's personality. So you did. The second one is mine. Oh, so he did do it. So he is a bit of a trickster. Okay. Why? The best way to avoid spoilers is to add a red herring. Then why just one? I'd already circled 3. I already sufficiently reduced the probability of the murderer's identity being spoiled for the next reader. That's more than enough. No need to worry about things that are beyond saving. And just why isn't it necessary? Using permanent ink to circle a name on the first page. That's obviously beyond saving. What kind of logic is that? I bet you just drew your circle for fun. If I must say so, then it's because the circling of names is far more interesting than the book itself. Fair point. In the end, I only have myself to blame for using up all my pencils. I need to go buy some more. Congratulations. This one-of-a-kind, out-of-print book, personally penned by the hands of so many, is now yours. Do you think I look happy about it? I don't even want to. If it was Paimon, she wouldn't want it either. That's a no from me, too. Okay. So as I was saying, whoever had marked the book had filled basically the entire book with highlighter for the textbook I had from my high school, and there's a slight problem with that. Apparently, my brain both recognizes and does not recognize yellow highlighter. So let's just say it was very painful and very trippy trying to read anything with highlighter because I could and could not read it at the same time. Like, I recognized there was letters there, but I could not focus my eyes on the highlighted words and letters at all. So yeah, that was a major headache. So that was a quest that triggered because of Summertide's Scales and Tales event, I'm guessing. So anyways, that's going to be it for now, and I'll see you guys later.